When I was first led to start You Can Discover Change, I had to I had to resign the position that I was in, which meant that I would be completely unemployed. That was a very scary, scary time for me. I'd always had some kind of W 2. Um, Being from the insurance industry, the last 5 years of employment, I'd had several people offer for me to work for them on a commission based salary, and I was like, oh wait, no way. I need a base. I need a base rate, and then we can talk commission. So when I knew I was supposed to start You Can Discover Change, to go completely self-employed was very frightening for me, very, very frightening for me. And I was unknowledgeable. I didn't know how to bid jobs appropriately. So there's one week that work was pretty steady, and then the next week it was like, man, I might have had one house to clean, and I was um, so dependent on the Lord for everything. And I spent so much time in my prayer closet, so much time in my worship room, so much time in His Word. And He was just giving me revelation after revelation. And every revelation that He was giving me was to be shared. It wasn't anything that was just separate and set apart for Heather. It was everything. Like if it was a Tuesday and I was going into the jail and I had spent time with Him that morning, He just would use the lesson for that session, but He would just reveal something greater to me. There was just so much of that outpouring. It was wonderful. And during that time, I had a dream. And in the dream, the Lord had given me 5 women. He had pointed out, there's 5 women. I want you to take them away for a weekend. It's going to be in the mountains. You're going to do some boat stuff. And he told me which 5 to invite. He'd given me the lesson, the group lesson for every one of them, collectively. And then He gave me sessions for these 5 women individually. And they were sessions for deliverance and freedom, and really helping them to see their eternal identity and their functions here on earth. So it was really cool. And He'd even given me a vision of them in the future, like what their lives would look like after this weekend of deliverance. And I was stoked, so stoked, because I loved each one of them, and God was showing me His purpose of them. His purpose of them. You really can't think on an earthly realm and get the fullness of His purpose of us, right? We have to think more on the spiritual realm for that stuff. So I'm excited. Some complete stranger had offered to let us use, he calls me up and says, you don't know me, but the Lord told me to offer my home, my mountain home, for you to use. And it was just beautiful. Someone else offered their boat for us to go out on and have some fun. Another party of people said that they were supplying the food for the weekend. So I actually had to do nothing but prepare. I had to do nothing but spend time with God so that He could give me what each one of these women needed. You can't be out working and spending time with God, that intimate time with God, right? Like work is distracting for that. So it's like the different times that Jesus went away alone to pray. There were times He was with people, with just His disciples, and then alone time with the Lord. Alone time with the Lord is where those revelations happen. It's where those things happen. And they're not just for you, they're for others. So we get to the weekend, and we're on the porch of this cabin, and I'm helping the women bring their luggage in. And there's one woman there that has a cleaning business like me. And I just nonchalantly, well, how's your week been? How have things been? And she said, I've had so much business this week, I've had to turn it away. And I thought, well, Lord, what you giving her work for and you ain't giving me work? And in that split second, everything that he had given to me for those women left. I could not even remember the scripture, Jesus wept. I was in a panic. And I prayed, oh Lord, please give it back to me. Please give it back to me. Please give it back to me. I wanted it back at first just for me, so I wouldn't look like a fool. Like, how am I gonna do anything this weekend? They're gonna think I'm crazy bringing them here for this. And then it was like, oh Lord, I just took away. I just questioning you. I'm not going to be able to give them what you wanted for them. This deliverance, this freedom, this new life, this. It was just, my heart races at the thought of it now, because it was like my questioning God, when he had elevated me to such faith that in that moment, my questioning God took away from me what he had for me to give to others. I've had several dreams in this walk, in this communion with God, in this relationship. That dream changed me. It was like, Lord, I may not understand fully what's going on in the natural, but I must trust always that you're doing far exceedingly above my wildest imaginations in the spiritual. For you have designed me and you have created me. I have purpose, and you have purpose of me in the lives of others. And that's how you work in everyone's life. You don't have just chosen and set apart here and there. Every one of us chosen. Every one of us have a different path and a different walk, but all for your glory.